local food isn't a novel idea, but I do think it's an important one. I grew up on a farm, and I found that my recipes are just simply better when I source my ingredients from someone or somewhere I'm connected to. Hi, I'm Ian Knauer. I've been all around this world in search of the best ingredients. I've cooked in the test kitchens of Gourmet Magazine and Food Network. I've written for the Wall Street Journal about recipes and food. And what I've come to learn is that the food that is grown right here in Chester County, 10 minutes from where I grew up, is world-class food. The best ingredients in the world. Today, I'm at Circle CSA. I'm gonna meet up with farmers Sammy and Zach, and we're gonna pick vegetables for all the recipes in this series. I'm gonna make a cucumber, carrot, kohlrabi salad, nice and crunchy on a hot day like today. We're also gonna harvest cherry tomatoes, eggplant, green beans, and later, Nathan from Tine and Toil farm is gonna show up with some of his produce as well. I can't wait to get into the kitchen with these ingredients. But first, let's go meet up with Sammy and Zach and harvest some veggies. Sammy.
Hey,
Hey.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you guys.
Likewise, how are
Thanks
you?
for inviting me out here.
Thanks for
I'm
coming.
Good. I'm good. I'm
Nice to meet
staying
you.
cool. What are you
Yeah, I
guys
love
up to?
Well, right now I'm sowing some peas for fall.
Cool.
I'm just making some furrows to drop the seeds in.
All right. Teamwork makes the
Yes,
dream
sir.
work.
You got it, you got it.
So tell me a little bit about how seasonality dictates what you're growing and when you're growing it.
Well, for one thing, we are a CSA farm, community supported agriculture. So seasonality is very important. We encourage people to eat seasonally. We try to focus on crops that taste best and when they taste best. Of course, you can grow a tomato in March, but it's not going to taste as good as one in August.
It tastes like cardboard.
Yeah,
actually.
exactly. So having a CSA really allows us to focus hyper-seasonally.
So a lot of people will look at a recipe and they'll think that it can't be changed, it can't be moved, it can't be bent, and they'll probably come to you at the farmer's market and say, well, you don't have this or you don't have that. And so what would you say to those people?
Oh, try something you haven't tried before and ask the farmers. We know, we've eaten everything that we grow. We know different ways to use it. And a lot of our customers have given us recipes and shared with us that we can pass on to other customers who are curious. What's this? I've never seen this before. How do you use it?
Yeah, I would say food doesn't have to be complicated. It's supposed to be fun. And I think an important thing to remember, one thing we try to focus on is we grow 5 different kinds of eggplant. Don't feel intimidated that you can't use this kind for a recipe that calls for that kind. Have fun with it. If it calls for an Italian eggplant, if we have mini eggplant and the farmer tells you that it's good, give it a try.
Right, a recipe is a jumping off point. It's an idea, it's a template.
Inspiring.
Exactly.
Yes.
Take it and run with it.
Exactly.
Use what you can get at the farmer's market and swap
Yep.
it in and out.
Yep, and I think it's super important to have conversation with your farmer. Ask them what's good. They'll tell you.
Because they know.
Yes, they'll tell you.
Mister, can you stop for me? I ain't got much besides this guitar. Back a ways you'd find what else I own.
I love to cook, especially when I can muster the energy after a long, hard day. We just walk around the field together at the end of the day, grab what's good or maybe leftovers from the markets, go home and create a meal with whatever we've got around. It tends to be a nice seasonal meal with whatever is in abundance, and then the best part about it is after working a long, hard day, we get to eat it together.
Drag my bones all the way to California, but it sure ain't taking me home.
So I'm going to be sourcing my vegetables from right here for that cucumber, kohlrabi, and carrot salad, that nice crunchy salad. It's really important with a menu like this, where produce is the foundation of it, that the quality is the best it can be, which is exactly why I'm here, harvesting with these two guys. So when you're farming this way, you're not spraying anything, you have to do it in a sustainable way. Not every crop does as well as this eggplant has done this year, right?
This is true. With seasonality comes challenges, and spring was very luscious for us, but one good example of something that doesn't like the heat or the drought would be our cucumber crop. They looked beautiful, and within a matter of days they succumbed to disease and lack of moisture and just pounding sun. So, you know, if things come and go, you just gotta roll with it, and the time for cucumbers will be in September again, if we're lucky, and now we focus on the eggplant.
Right. That's also one of the nice things about a CSA. You're able to offer a lot of variety
Oh,
to your
absolutely.
customers.
Yeah, and they appreciate it too.
Hey guys,
Nathan!
Oh, it's Nathan.
brought some veggies.
What's up?
Nice.
How are you?
Pretty good. Just seeing what we can find in the eggplant patch.
You want to help us harvest?
Sure.
Nice.
So you guys know each other because you're both produce farmers. You're all produce farmers.
Yep.
Yeah, we work at the same farmer's market.
And is that competition for you guys?
Oh, no.
No, not at all. Not at all. We're all part of the same team, totally. If I am going to buy some agricultural supplies, I always send Zach and Timmy a text and say, hey, you guys need me to pick anything up? They do the same thing for me.
Yeah.
Zach actually gave my son one of his first bicycles.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
We sell equipment to each other at sweetheart prices. Yeah, if we've got a question about what's going on with this plant, you know, they're on my first contact list.
What I've found is that the farming community is exactly that. It's a community.
absolutely.
Because it's so hard that you need help.
Yeah.
Whether it's emotional help or physical help or,
Yeah.
or equipment help, no matter what it is, you're sort of all in this together.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people to feed, so we all have to make sure that we're doing our best and keeping up with what we can produce to try to feed as many families as we can in the community.
It's very cool to see how tight you guys are as a community and how you help each other out. I've got to get into the kitchen, so thank you for inviting me out, and I'll see you on the other side.
All
got it.
right, enjoy.
For a holler in the hills of Appalachia. No, sir, you wouldn't know the name, but it's prettier than
I spent the morning in the fields with Sammy and Zach and Nathan, and I'm really excited to be back in the kitchen because this is my wheelhouse. We've gathered these beautiful ingredients, the carrots, the kohlrabi, the cucumbers. We even found some fennel on the way out of the farm, so I'm gonna throw that into this recipe too. I'm gonna make this really crunchy, really refreshing carrot, kohlrabi, cucumber, and fennel salad with a nice sort of slaw-like dressing, tossed together, nice and cold, and then crumble some of that beautiful sheep's milk cheese over top. So let's get started. This is a really straightforward recipe. I wanna get rid of these carrot tops, and you can save them if you want. They make sort of a nice pesto. I'm gonna get rid of those on a couple of these carrots. And then, it's funny, I got into, can't say it was an argument with Sammy, but she just eats the carrots without peeling them. I, on the other hand, love to peel carrots because I find the skin to be a little bit bitter. So all I have is this cheese peeler. I'm gonna get rid of the carrot skin on these carrots. Gather up these skins, just put them over here, make a little compost pile. All right, then I'm gonna deal with this kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is something that grows really well in this part of the country, in this part of the world. And so a lot of farmers, a lot of vegetable farmers will grow it and have a lot of it. But it's sort of a weird thing if you're not used to eating it, to know what to do with it. It's good roasted. You wanna peel it, so it's got sort of a thick skin. So I like to go top and bottom. And then I can use this peeler again just to go around the kohlrabi and peel that thick skin off. But once that's off, it's like an apple. You can eat it like an apple. It's sweet, it's crunchy, it's nice and cool because this has been in the refrigerator for an hour or so. All right, what's next? Fennel. So, as we were leaving the farm, we found this beauty. These fronds are they're beautiful, but they tend to be a little tougher. However, they are the sweetest part of the plant. So I'm gonna use some of them. I'm gonna just get rid of them for now so I can focus on the bowl. But I'm gonna save them over here and I'm gonna shave some of these into the salad too because they're so sweet. And then finally, I've got a cucumber right here. This I'm gonna peel. I like the color of that skin, so I'm just gonna keep it on. So here are my 4 veggies that go into this salad. And now I have some choices to make. I can use a box grater, which most everybody has, or I can use a slicer, which is probably the most dangerous tool in the kitchen. Let's start out with this guy before I've had too much coffee. So we'll deal with him first. I'm gonna use the fennel. I'm gonna use him for the fennel and just slice like so. I'm going right down straight from the top there. And when I get to this point, I'm just gonna stop, all right? Don't be a hero. You can waste a tiny bit of fennel or just eat it. Then I have my fennel right here. If you see a little piece of core like this, that's gonna be kind of tough unless you cook it, so I'll just pick those out. Put them over here in my compost pile. And now my fennel's done. Now I'll come back to that when it's ready to dress this salad. All right, kohlrabi. This guy I think is gonna be better on a box grater. If I use that slicer, I'm just gonna have these big thick rounds. So put this right here and just scrape it right down. I'll turn it. Now this is a safer tool than the last tool I was using, but in a professional kitchen we call this a knuckle bleeder for a good reason. Here's what happened when I was using the knuckle bleeder. I nicked myself. It's only a flesh wound, don't worry about it. All right, this is essentially a coleslaw, right? Instead of cabbage, we're using kohlrabi. Kohl in German means cabbage. So this is a baby of a cabbage and a rabi. What's a rabi? A broccoli. All right, so this is a combination of those two plants, which gives us a really unique thing, a really crunchy, like the core of a cabbage, sweet like a cabbage. So that's what we're replacing our cabbage with, is a kohlrabi today. Let's stick with the box grater for our carrots. Again, remember I saved a little piece here, so it's just a handle that I can hold on to. Carrots are gonna add a lot of color to this. And again, that crunch, because these are so fresh, it's gonna be like, you're gonna hear it when you bite into it. Listen. I mean, that echo, come on. All right, I got down to my little handle and I can stop. All right, once again, I'm going to scoot these carrots right into my bowl. I mean, look at that color contrast. That's nice. And finally, cucumber. I'm gonna put this over the side. And I think I'm gonna go back to my slicer for the cucumber. There we go. Nice slices of cucumber. Oops, there we go. And again, when you get down to the end, just stop. Put that over the side, scoop my veggies into the bowl. All right, and I'm gonna skip this over here, and now I'm gonna work on my dressing. All right, so this is sort of a classic mayo-based slaw. I've got mayonnaise, I've got a little vinegar, I've got some salt, and I wanna sweeten it with something, right? What do we have around here that's sweet? Honey, of course, or maple syrup. But I've got some nice local honey that I'm gonna add to the bowl. Maybe a tablespoon or two of that. Got my mayonnaise here, it's about half a cup. My apple cider vinegar, you can use whatever vinegar you have. If you have a red wine vinegar, that works. If you have a white wine vinegar, that works. Apple cider is one of my favorites. Apples grow really well around here. And some salt, probably half a teaspoon. So this is all gonna get whisked together. How do you like my whisk? Rainbow whisk. And then it'll get tossed with all the veggies. This is one of my favorite summer salads. It's simple, it's fresh. It has that nice balance of sweetness from the honey and the acidity from the vinegar, and of course the creaminess of the mayonnaise sort of ties everything together. Just giving this a toss to make sure that that dressing is evenly distributed. And now I'm gonna plate it. This guy's great, but the best tools that you can ever use in the kitchen, you have right here. I'm gonna mound it up a little bit, give it a little visual texture here. Really let those vegetables shine, because that's what this dish is about. We've got these beautiful veggies from the field. We want to show them, put them on a pedestal, let them be everything that they can be. Now I'm going to take some of this cheese that we got from Locust Hollow Sheep Farm. And I'm just gonna break it open and crumble it right on top. And that's just gonna give it a richness, help to balance the freshness with that cucumber and that carrot and that kohlrabi and that fennel. So this is the sheep's cheese, the Zara, that has those herbs on it that we sprinkled on there yesterday. And those dried herbs are gonna sort of act in harmony with the freshness of these veggies. Just give it a really sort of unique, full flavor of this salad. And that's it. There we have it. Got the green of the cucumber, the orange of the carrot, the crispy of the fennel and the kohlrabi, that nice creamy dressing, and that beautiful cheese sprinkled over top. What an amazing day to be out on a farm here in Chester County, meeting these guys. What I learned today, what we saw here on the farm, is that even though we romanticize farming quite a bit, it's not always that pretty. It takes a lot of adaptability, a lot of shifting, and trying to figure out how to make it work when it doesn't work. It's the same in the kitchen. You might start with a recipe that calls for certain ingredients, but I can't get those ingredients sometimes from these guys, so I have to be adaptable too. I've got to figure out how to make delicious food using what they can get to me in the kitchen. Cooking this way is more than just a recipe. It's about respecting what happens on the farm and bringing it all the way into the kitchen and onto the plate. When visiting local Pennsylvania farms to gather ingredients for my seasonal menu, it's become very clear that it doesn't matter if the ideas that influence my cooking are novel, and they're certainly not convenient. The food just has to be good. So I set out to find some good farms producing good food by good people